Hi everyone and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer. I'm excited to be with you today and sharing some ideas with your card making, stamping, showing you some product and things, and hopefully giving you some ideas of techniques and cards and showing you some of Stampin' Up's latest products and things. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. Whether you're joining me live through Facebook or YouTube, or you're watching the recording later. The great thing about these is the videos are there and you can watch it when it suits you. So please feel free to comment, ask questions, let me know where you're from. And if you are watching this later, then I'll do my best to comment when I can. So thank you for being here. So today I'm going to make a card that uses the Changing Leaves bundle. Now, if you're with me last week, I also used that particular bundle, but I focused on the stamp set. And then I did use the dies in the embossing folder, but separately. So I stamped the leaves, cut it out, and then had a embossed background. Today, I want to show you how you can, this is like part 2. I want to show you how you can use like as a hybrid embossing folder, which is kind of what it was designed for. So that means you can emboss and die cut at the same time. And there have been other sets like this as well. But it's a cool technique and lots of fun, and makes it quick to be able to die cut and emboss at the same time. So what I will do is switch cameras and look at my table, and we'll be able to get started. So here we go. Excellent. All right, so here is the Changing Leaves bundle. So it consists of this stamp set, which has got both your leaves and your sentiments. It has an embossing folder, and it has dies. Now, there's actually 2 sheets of dies in the pack. So let me show you. So you've got this one here, which is for cutting out some of the sentiments, some extra embellishments and things, which I haven't actually used yet, but I will get to. And then the other one is this big die here, which cuts 3 at once, which is very cool. So I'll show you what I mean by this hybrid embossing folder. So what you can do is open up the folder and put this inside, and if you kind of wriggle it around, it will go into place. If I put it on the right side. Yep. So we want the dies facing up. There we go, finally. Okay, and it clicks into place, and it cuts out these 3 different leaves at the same time. So that's pretty cool. So can you see now, like if I move it, it's sort of clicked into place. So all you need to do is get your piece of cardboard, put it over the top, close it up, and then put it through the machine. So you can see there it is around the different shapes, and it'll cut it as well as emboss it. So let's do that. And then in a minute, I'll show you what we're going to make. So I'll bring up my machine. It's a little bit hard for me to fit it all in, so you might just have to see it coming out the other end. So it is a 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to use, I'll just show you first, then I'll move it over. So I've got my base plate, then I'm going to put the folder down, and then I'm going to put my specialty plate on top, and that's going to go through. So I'll put that there so I don't knock the camera. Important thing is to line it up. It is a tight squeeze, so you're going to sort of push it through, and just, if there's a bit of resistance, just make sure you've got the right combination. Oh, sorry, click of plates and things, because you don't want to mess up your machine. But it is obviously a little bit thicker because of the dies. So let's open that up and have a look. So I can take that out. I can lift this out. There we go. So, and here are our 3 die cut leaves. So I've used Lost Lagoon cardstock. So I just want to pull it up carefully because it's just a bit narrower in the middle. This one as well. So it's pushed really hard, pushed it into the embossing folder. There we go. And there are our 3 embossed and die cut leaves done in one go. So that's pretty cool. Now what I'm going to do is I still want a background with the embossing. So I'm going to use the embossing folder like I did last week and put this in as well. So I just want to have some of the other leaves and patterns too. So we're going to put that through exactly the same as what we just did with my white plate and my embossing folder and then my specialty plate on top. So it's like that. Put that through. You can see it come through the other end. And this is going to be our background. Now, I haven't showed you the card yet. Maybe I could do it differently today and we'll make it and then you can see it, what it looks like at the end. I don't know what you think of that idea. All right, so welcome to those of you that are live. Appreciate you being here today. Thank you. All right, so this one hasn't cut because I didn't put the dies in, but it has just embossed the background. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere these on here and kind of like this, and then just trim them if they hang over the edges. So what did I do? I think, oh yeah, I kind of did it sort of like that. So you've got your emboss background, but then we've got a bit of color with this on the top. So I'm going to do this big one first to make sure that I've got enough room, and then we'll put the others on. So let's do that. So glue, I don't want too much, but I do want sort of the edges to be adhered. So as I'm gluing this, I can feel the texture that's definitely embossed into it. Now I've got to pick it up carefully. Try not to get gluey hands. So kind of about there. Now I'm going to put my sentiment down here so I don't mind if there's a little bit of a space. All right, I'm going to maybe angle those there. I don't want them to overlap. Let's just push this down a bit more. What you could do is get a, what do you call it, punch to put over the top. So let's, so about there. So we'll glue this one as well. So glue that down. So this is a bit different. You haven't actually seen today's card yet. Whoops, we'll just move it over a fraction. There we go. So hold that down. We'll put that there. And then this one, we are going to put up the top. We will have it sort of hanging over the edge just a little bit. So we do trim a bit off. So again, some glue, not too much because we don't want it oozing out. That wouldn't be so good. All right, I will have it hanging over the edge a little bit. Okay, so my background is crumb cake, and then my leaves that I'm sticking on are in Lost Lagoon. So let's just press that down. Okay, I'll leave that to dry for a moment, and I'll do my sentiment. So I've got that ready to go. So I'm just going to get a scrap piece of white. So with the set, there's a few different sentiments of different sizes. So you've got some longer ones, short one, and then this one is kind of in the middle. So you'll see that like that would cut that or that, and this little one is for here. The thank you doesn't fit though. It gets sort of cut off because it's actually even within that. So last week I showed you how to use this and make it smaller. So check out last week's video if you didn't see it. Or we're going to use the circle to cut out the thank you. And you could also use it for that one as well. So I'm going to use some Lost Lagoon ink because that's kind of our dominant color. Just going to push that down there and stamp a thank you and then cut it out with the circle die. There we go. Excuse me. Nice. Just decide where you want it. If anything, I probably want it lower rather than higher because I'm going to put a bow above it. So let's do that. So now I need to get my machine and change my plates because I'm going to die cut. So I've still got my 1. Then I'm going to put a 2 down. I'll bring it back to the other side in a minute. A 3. And then my piece I'm going to die cut. And this on the top. But you do want to make sure they're all nice and straight so they don't hit the side. So let's come in from this side and come through to the other. Here we go. Great. So this is a fairly quick, easy card, but I love using embossing folders and having texture on cards. I think it looks really cool. There's not too much stamping for this card. I did more stamping when I used the set last week. Okay, there we go. So this time I've done it a little bit lower compared to my original. Not that you've seen that yet. Okay, I want to have a bow. So let's get that ready. I'm going to use a glue dot to help me put it together. So I'm going to do that now. Well, my hands are free. So where are my glue dots? Let's pull it. Oh, there's one there. So let's just put, no, that didn't come off. I'll put it there on that corner. And I'm going to get a piece to tie around it. So I'm actually going to put that down first, kind of the middle. That's good. And then I'm going to twist it round. This is for a double bow. So the end is at the bottom of my 3 fingers. 1, 2, but finish at the top. So when you bunch it all together, you've got some short ends there. I'm going to stick this down. I only do it this way with the glue dot because I don't need to hold it. Otherwise you need a friend or 3 hands. There we go. So that's our double knot. So we're going to put that up here. So I'll get another glue dot because I've sort of put twine all around the other one. So that's our sentiment. All right, are you going to guess how this is going to be put together? Let's have a look and see. So I'm doing something a bit different by not showing you the finished card, and we're just working our way through. Okay, so this is our card base. Did I emboss? Yes, I did. There. Okay, so what I need to do now is get my snips, but not my, these are my ribbon snips. These are just my normal snips. Oh, great to see some of you here today. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn it over, and I'm just going to snip on the edges. So any, let's move that out of the way, extra bits hanging over will get cut. It's not too much I've wasted, but don't want to crowd the card. Yeah, this as well. Try and keep it as straight. So I've got a nice straight edge. Like so. There we go. Get rid of those. Okay, so that's our background. And I'm going to adhere it to just a piece of basic white, just a tiny bit bigger. So my sizing is, my card base is a standard A4 size, which is 14.85 by 21, the width of card, and scored at 10.5. My next layer is 10 by 14.3. And then this is just 3 mils less, so it's just a narrow edging, and that is 9.7 by 14, so just 3 millimeters less. Okay, so I'm going to glue this onto here. We've got that white around it. There we go. And then we'll put that onto our card front. So don't you like that, just that little pop of white around it, but not too wide. We don't want it to be too in your face kind of thing. And that will tie nicely with our sentiment because that's white too. So that kind of helps with that. All right, there we go. And then basically we are going to get our sentiment and just kind of put it down here like this with our ribbon. Twine, linen thread. Okay, so let's grab a couple of these. So I can probably use, do you like to use some of the ones on the side, little offcuts as well? Okay, and remove that backing with my take your pick tool. So useful. Okay, there we are. Now it's nice to finish off with some embellishments, and I was really struggling what kind of neutrally colors. I don't have anything in the Lost Lagoon, so sort of going for browns, whites, that kind of thing. In the end I settled on the what are they called, adhesive back swirls, which are actually part of the coffee, the Latte Love bundle, but yeah, they've sort of got more of a neutral color, so I went with that. So what I did was I put, now this is color is a little bit lower than my other one, so this is going to work Maybe I'll put one up here because it's a little bit different to the original I made. One there, one there. Hope this is going to work. And kind of like triangles, but it's not quite going to work. Whoops, come back. It's not really going to work. I'll just have to go over here. It's more of a line, I think. I'll show you the original so you can see, but we've just got to do the inside as well. So for the inside, I'm going the opposite. I've got my white piece for writing my message, and then just a narrow crumb cake piece around the side. And then I'm just using one of the leaves for stamp on the inside. So we're going to go with this one. And if you were doing an envelope, then you could do that too. And then it would all coordinate. Put those together and put that on the inside. And then we'll compare it to my first card and see how it looks. So what are your thoughts about this? Do you like the hybrid embossing folder? Have you used one before? We've had them in the past for, I think it's called the Thoughtful Moments. There's one with words that you can emboss and die cut. We've had stars. Yeah, there are others as well, but I think it's very cool. There we go. All right. So if you missed last week's video with the stamping and things, you may like to check that out too. Okay, there we are. So my original card is here. So you can just see, I did think you more in the middle than lower. So I've put two there and one. So yeah, with stamping that lower, I didn't kind of think about it. It's more of a line, but you know, a little bit different. There you go. What do you prefer? And the inside is very similar as well. Okay, so that's with Lost Lagoon, which I think is quite nice. But I like the texture on it. So you got the texture in the background and then the contrast with the Lost Lagoon too. So in case you missed it, I'll show you what I did last week, and you'll see that it's definitely more stamping. So last week we used Mossy Meadow. I did emboss the background as well, but we stamped with this particular one, and then we just stamped and used the dies to cut it out. So not the embossing folder, only for the background, not for this. And then I used the die, the big one, and made it smaller to fit my thank you. So, and then I put that on the inside. So you could always do that stamp in there too. So that was last week's Facebook Live. So if you missed that, feel free to check that out. So Joe's waiting for her bundles to be delivered. Great. You'll have lots of fun when they come. Awesome. And this is the other card, which is basically, I haven't die cut or embossed the leaves. I've just stamped them in the background, but I did die cut the circle and stamp that, which is kind of cool. I didn't do anything on the inside of that. So the ones on the right there are last week's, and then this is what we did today. So there's lots of potential with the Changing Leaves bundle. So remember, it consists of 3 parts. So you've got the stamp set, the embossing folder, and the dies, which is more than just those dies. It's all these dies as well. So my next challenge is to make another card with these dies too. All right, so there we go. So any questions about what I've made today? I hope you liked that. So this is not in the catalogue, all right? It is an online exclusives product, so you will need to look in the online store to find it. You can check out the description, and I've got the supplies I used, and it includes the Changing Leaves set, so check that out. But you won't find it in the annual catalogue. But if you're wanting to check out what is in the annual catalogue and you don't yet have a copy, please feel free to contact me if you don't have a demonstrator, and I'm happy to send you a complimentary copy of the catalogue. So this is still current, but just a few times a year, Stamping Up bring out other product just to keep it seasonal. I don't do Halloween, but some people do. There's Halloween things in the store already as well. And then in September, so just over a month now, we'll have a new mini catalogue coming out. Okay, so I'll be ordering from those soon, or getting the catalogue soon, and then for my customers I'll be able to send them out. So just one other thing, I've forgotten, printed in black and white rather than colour, but there we go. Just to let you know, next week from the 6th of August, We have a designer series paper sale coming up for papers from the annual catalogue. So it's got to be the papers that are in here. So if you're thinking about buying some paper, keep in mind from next week, from Tuesday, it'll be 15% off. So don't miss out on that. And the other thing to remember too, I'm just going to switch back to my camera here. Here we go. Hi. Is that many of you made the most of the bonus days last month. So thank you for your orders through me. And if you did order and you got some bonus day coupons, you can start redeeming those from now. So they must be redeemed during August, otherwise they expire. So when you're doing your order, you can put the coupon codes in. If you've got multiples, you can list them all, but just have a space between each one. And if you need help entering them in or whatever, just let me know. But each of those vouchers are $11, so you can take that off your total. Just bear in mind, if your total is something like $330 and you use 3 coupons, which takes $33 off, and the total goes to less than $300, then you wouldn't earn stamping rewards on it, because it's got to be the amount the order comes to that you actually pay, not once without the coupons. So just bear that in mind. If you've got any questions when you're ordering, feel free to ask me and I can help clarify that. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here today. I appreciate that. So each Thursday I'm here at 1:30 p.m. New Zealand time, sharing some ideas, some inspiration with you. Tomorrow I'll be sending out my newsletter for August. So usually it goes out on a Wednesday, but since it's the beginning of the month today, I have held off and it'll go out tomorrow. So if you're not on my mailing list, I'd encourage you to sign up. Then you'll be kept up to date with what's happening. I'll have, information, some exclusive tutorials that are only for my newsletter subscribers. So to sign up, you can go to my blog and check it out, or stampwithangela.co.nz/free, and you'll get a free tutorial when you sign up. Well, thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. And for those of you watching it later, thanks for watching the recording too. Do reach out to me if I can be of any help, or if you would like to order or need a catalogue or anything like that. I really appreciate those that support me in my business through my newsletter, through these lives, through ordering through me. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.